Somewhere in the north of Pakistan, there's a road that climbs higher than most commercial airplanes fly. There's another one where drivers have to cross a river that didn't exist the day before, because it was created by a glacier melting overnight. And there's one so narrow, so exposed, that a single wrong turn doesn't just end a trip, it ends everything, with nothing but open air on one side and a drop of hundreds of meters. These aren't roads you'll find in most travel documentaries. They don't have famous names like Route 66 or the Amalfi Coast. But for sheer danger, altitude, and raw engineering defiance against nature, the roads of northern Pakistan rank among the most extreme on the planet. This is the story of Pakistan's most dangerous roads, why they exist, who built them, and why people still risk the journey every single year. Let's start with the most famous of them all, the Karakoram Highway. Stretching over 1,300 kilometers, the Karakoram Highway connects Pakistan to China, cutting straight through some of the tallest mountains on Earth. The Karakoram Range, which shares its name with the road, along with parts of the Himalayas and the Hindu Kush. At its highest point, the Babusar Pass, the road reaches an elevation of around 4,700 meters, roughly 15,400 feet. To put that in perspective, that's higher than the base camp of Mount Everest. It's often called the highest paved international border crossing in the world. Locals and engineers have another name for it, the eighth wonder of the world, not because of luxury or beauty alone, but because of what it took to build it. Construction began in the 1960s, a joint project between Pakistan and China, and it took roughly 20 years to complete. The terrain was so harsh, and the mountains so unstable, that workers were building through some of the most seismically active, landslide-prone geography on the planet. The human cost was severe. Estimates suggest between 800 and 1,000 workers, both Pakistani and Chinese, died during construction, primarily from landslides, falls, and extreme weather. Some historians describe roughly one worker dying for every kilometer of road built. Even after completion, the danger never really ended. The Karakoram Highway passes through an active landslide and earthquake zone. In 2010, a massive landslide near Adabad in Hunza completely blocked the Hunza River, creating a new lake, now called Adabad Lake, that swallowed a section of the highway entirely. For years, the only way across that section was by boat, until a new tunnel route was built around it. Today, sections of the road are also periodically closed by snow, rock slides, or flooding, meaning even modern travelers can find themselves stranded for days waiting for the route to reopen. Despite all of this, the Karakoram Highway is now also becoming a bucket list route for extreme travelers and cyclists from around the world, drawn by the surreal scenery, turquoise lakes, glaciers spilling down from peaks over 7,000 meters, and villages that feel like they exist outside of time. If the Karakoram Highway is the famous one, Babusar Pass is the one most travelers underestimate, until they're on it. Babusar Pass connects the Kagan Valley to the region of Chilas, at an elevation of around 4,170 meters, roughly 13,700 feet. Unlike the Karakoram Highway, much of this route is narrower, less maintained, and far more exposed. The road twists along mountainsides with minimal barriers, sheer drops on one side, and frequent sections where two vehicles can barely pass each other. Fog rolls in suddenly at this altitude, cutting visibility to just a few meters, and temperatures can shift dramatically within a single day. Because of heavy snowfall, Babusar Pass is only accessible for roughly 5 to 6 months of the year, typically opening in late spring and closing again by early winter. For the rest of the year, it's buried under snow deep enough to make the road completely impassable. Even during its open months, sudden weather changes can trap travelers overnight. Local drivers who cross this pass regularly say the biggest danger isn't the altitude itself, but the unpredictability. A clear morning can turn into a whiteout by afternoon, with zero warning. Despite the risk, Babusar Pass has become a rite of passage for local road trippers and increasingly, international overlanders drawn by videos and photos of its dramatic switchbacks and panoramic views of the surrounding peaks. Now here's one that doesn't even qualify as a normal road by most standards, the Jeep track to Fairy Meadows. Fairy Meadows is a lush, green plateau sitting at the base of Nanga Parbat, the 9th highest mountain in the world and one of the most dangerous peaks on Earth to climb, nicknamed Killer Mountain by mountaineers. To reach Fairy Meadows, there is no paved highway. Visitors first drive along the Karakoram Highway, then turn onto a narrow, unpaved jeep track carved into the mountainside near the village of Raikot. This track is so steep, narrow, and exposed that only experienced local jeep drivers are permitted to operate on it, using specially reinforced 4x4 vehicles. The track clings to the cliff face with drops of hundreds of meters on one side, and space so tight in places that mirrors are folded in just to pass. There are no guardrails. There is no room for driver error. Once the jeep track ends, at a point that's still not the final destination, visitors must continue on foot, hiking roughly 2 to 3 hours uphill through pine forests to actually reach Fairy Meadows itself. Despite, or perhaps because of, this difficulty, Fairy Meadows has become one of the most sought-after destinations in Pakistan for travelers wanting to see Nanga Parbat up close, with unobstructed views of a mountain that has claimed dozens of climbers' lives throughout the 20th century. Not every dangerous road in Pakistan is defined by cliffs and altitude. Some are dangerous because of what the landscape itself does without warning. The route to Deosai National Park, often called the Land of Giants, because of its vast, high-altitude plains, sits at an average elevation of over 4,000 meters, making it one of the highest plateaus in the world. The road leading into Deosai crosses multiple glacial streams that don't behave like normal rivers. Because they're fed directly by melting glaciers, water levels can rise dramatically within hours, especially in the afternoon when daytime heat accelerates glacial melt higher up the mountain. A stream that was shallow enough to cross safely in the morning can become a fast-moving, near-impassable torrent by late afternoon. Local guides plan trips specifically around this pattern, aiming to cross certain sections early in the day and avoid them entirely later on. Adding to the danger, the region is subject to sudden weather shifts, thick fog, hailstorms, and temperatures that can drop below freezing even in the middle of summer, catching unprepared travelers off guard within a route that has virtually no shelter or emergency services for long stretches. Despite all this, Deosai's otherworldly scenery, vast rolling plains framed by snow-capped peaks, wildflowers stretching to the horizon, and even the presence of the Himalayan brown bear, one of the rarest bear species on Earth, draws travelers willing to accept the risk for a landscape that feels genuinely untouched. So why do these roads exist at all? Why not simply avoid building through some of the most hostile terrain on the planet? The answer lies in geography and necessity. Northern Pakistan is home to some of the most remote, mountainous communities in the world, villages that, without these roads, would remain completely cut off for months at a time. The Karakoram Highway wasn't built for tourism. It was built to connect Pakistan and China, to give isolated northern regions access to trade, medical care, and the rest of the country. Babusar Pass connects valley communities that would otherwise require days of travel around entire mountain ranges. Even the jeep track to Fairy Meadows exists because local communities live and farm in that region, not just because travelers want to see a mountain. These roads represent something larger than tourism or adventure. They represent human determination to connect some of the most isolated places on Earth to the rest of civilization, whatever the cost, whatever the risk. For the people who live along these routes, danger isn't a novelty to seek out. It's simply part of daily life, something navigated with generational knowledge, respect for the mountains, and an understanding of nature that outsiders often only glimpse for a few days before returning to safer, flatter ground. Pakistan's most dangerous roads aren't dangerous by accident. They exist at the intersection of extreme geography and human necessity, carved through landslide zones, glacial floodplains, and altitudes where the air itself grows thin. They've cost lives to build, and they continue to demand respect from everyone who travels them, but they've also opened up some of the most breathtaking, remote landscapes on Earth to the people brave enough to make the journey. The next time you see a photo of a jeep balanced on a cliffside road in northern Pakistan, or a highway disappearing into fog above the clouds, you'll know it isn't just a stunning photograph. It's a road built against impossible odds, still standing, still connecting people, one dangerous mile at a time. If this surprised you, let me know in the comments which road you'd never dare to drive, and subscribe for more real stories from Pakistan you won't find anywhere else.